Sometimes, the more you know about food, the harder it could be to eat well. You know all these diets that are out now, like ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, the glycemic index, the HGC diet, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Whole30. I mean, I could go on and on. Knowing so much information about diets and nutrition and science could make it really hard for a lot of us to really tune into our bodies and make a food choice that works well with us. I shared in my TEDx talk about my own experience of going to grad school. When I was getting my master's in nutrition, we learned a lot about different types of diets and calculations and, how to eat just right. And knowing all of these rules actually made it harder for me to tune into my body because I was so in my head about food and eating. So today what I want to talk about is how to undo all that, how to bypass all of these rules and this rigidity and all of these numbers, and how to get back into our body. Hi, my name is Eve, and I love helping people make peace with food in any situation, no matter what is happening in their lives. So today what I want to talk about is how knowing too much about nutrition and science for many of us could actually make it harder to make a good, balanced, satisfying, nutritious food choice. So this is happening to you when making a food choice is a lot of work. Like there's a lot of calculating going on, there's comparing, there's a lot of thinking, and it's practically stressful because any choice you make, you're inevitably breaking one of those diet rules. You also know this could be happening to you by looking at your behaviors. Sometimes your behaviors could actually point out that you're too much in your head about eating and not so much in your body. And I want to share some of those examples with you. And so one of them could be, like when you're having a cup of coffee, not allowing yourself to have any sugar just to overeat on some, pastries later on. Or, when you're eating a taco, not letting yourself have the outside, just letting yourself have the inside of the taco, but then eating all of the chips that came with it. Another example of this could be like not letting yourself have any fruit just to have some cookies later. Or another example is not letting yourself eat at all during certain hours or going too long without eating just because you're trying to follow some rules. But finally, when it's that time to eat, you're noticing that you're overeating, having cravings, practically having a fight with yourself to stop eating. So the worst part of all of this to me is feeling out of touch. When we're too much in our heads with our dieting, we're out of touch with our bodies, we're out of touch with ourselves, and it could feel really scary. It could even feel hopeless. So what I want to talk about now is how to get out of your head, how to bypass some of this thinking and all of this confusion, and how to get back into your body in this situation. I know I talk a lot about this in a lot of my videos, but the tool I want to go over today, it's 3 steps, is really for those of us who know too much, who just know too much about science and food and nutrition, that it actually makes it hard to make a food choice. So step number 1, when you're eating, when you're having a meal, I want you to ask yourself, okay, looking at this meal, what is my secret wish? And the secret wish could look something like this. It could look like, you're at a restaurant and you got a sandwich and you packed half of it to go. And you're eating that first half, and when you're done, you're secretly wishing that you could have a few more bites of that sandwich. Another example could be when you're drinking that coffee, the secret wish might be that, you actually had some sugar in it to make it more palatable. Another example could be when you're out for Mexican food, the secret wish could be to actually let yourself have some of that tortilla or that taco shell. Another example of what the secret wish could be is when you're having your salmon and your broccoli, to have it on some rice or on a bed of pasta. Another example of what the secret wish could be is when you're eating a salad, to have some dressing on there. So these are some examples of what the secret wish could be. And the reason why I call it a secret wish is many of us who struggle with food don't want to admit to actually wanting more food. We want to tell ourselves that what we're serving ourselves is enough. So that's why I call it the secret wish. So step number 1 is to determine what is your secret wish. And sometimes it's not that hard, or often it's not that hard because it's what completes the meal. It's what makes it more normal. Now, step number 2 is determine if this secret wish is wise for you to satisfy. Is balanced nutrition important for you? Is eating adequate food for your body important for you? If you eat this food, will it help you feel satisfied and help prevent a binge later on? Is it aligned with your body to eat this food? So if you have a life-threatening allergy, obviously do not eat the food, right? That's self-explanatory. So sometimes you might find that this secret wish isn't even about food at all. Oftentimes this secret wish to have more food is more about meeting your emotional needs. And I know I talk a lot about that in my other videos as well. So step number 2 is for you to determine, is it wise for you to satisfy this secret wish? And so step number 3 is to do an experiment. You want to do an experiment of saying yes or no. So experiment number 1 could be to say yes to food. So if you say yes to the food, are you noticing that you're feeling satisfied longer? Are you noticing that you have less obsessive thoughts about food? Are you feeling less deprived? Are you in a better mood? What do you notice? What happens when you actually say yes to food to round out that meal or snack or whatever you're having? Or your experiment might be to say no to food. When you say no to food, do you notice that you're feeling unsatisfied, or are you feeling deprived, or is it just fine and you don't notice anything at all? So do this experiment. And when you do this experiment, it takes a level of mindfulness. It takes a level of attunement to have with yourself, because remember, what you're doing here is you're relearning how to feed yourself with love. We've been given so many rules, and we've put so many rules on ourselves around what eating is supposed to look like. So as you're learning how to come back into your body, it does take some time, it does take some experimentation. So as you're doing this, I just invite you to be very loving with yourself, very patient with yourself, because remember, not only are you finally learning how to feed yourself with love and how to tune into your body, you're actually relearning how to be attuned to your body and ultimately learning about yourself. I hope this tip was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave your questions below and I'll come back and I'll answer them. Also, if you like this video, I invite you to subscribe and give me a thumbs up so I know that you like what I'm creating. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!